everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video I am filming an updated bookshelf reorganization video because it has been quite a few months since I filmed one last, and the reason why I've chosen today to do this is because I've actually gotten extra shelves on my bookshelves. So instead of having 7 from top to bottom, I now have 8 bookshelves because I was running out of space and I wanted to make more use of the shelves I already had. So I just bought like extra shelf inserts, if that makes any sense. So I'm honestly very excited for this reorganization. I feel like this is going to be my best one yet because I have quite a structured plan for what I'm going to do, and normally when I go into these types of videos I kind of just go with the flow and it never really turns out exactly how I want it. So hopefully I can get this time exactly how I want it because I do have a plan in my head. Also keep in mind that I am starting this at almost 7 p.m. because I have been busy all day today and I'm busy all day tomorrow on Sunday. So this is the only time I get to do this because I do work a full-time job during the week. So I'm just gonna have to do it at night time, and then I'll show you guys an overview tomorrow when it's actually daylight. And of course I'll film an updated like bookshelf tour as well, like maybe next weekend. But to try to explain my little plan a little bit before I actually go into it. So pretty much some of these shelves that I've added in now are very skinny to the point where they will only just fit small paperbacks. So taking this one for example, if I put it on here, it literally just fits perfectly. It's very snug, but I do feel like I'm gonna really like that aesthetic when it's finished, and I'm gonna try to keep the books like facing as much to the front as possible rather than pushing them all the way back, so it's more like, I don't know, I feel like it'll just look more put together like that. So I have to be very specific with where I put specific books because I need to make sure like the bigger paperbacks are on bigger shelves and stuff like that. So pretty much my plan, depending on how many books of each genre I have, instead of going like this whole shelf will be romance, top 3 shelves all the way across will be romance books. And instead of having like this little shelf in the middle as like a dedicated display shelf, I'm going to just keep the books going all the way along and sort of have some books on display throughout the other books, if that makes sense. I feel like it'll make more sense as I start doing it and as I start showing you guys what I actually mean. But as like a little prediction of how it's going to be, I'm definitely going to have the most romance books, and because quite a lot of my romance books are very like small paperbacks, I thought it would be best to keep them at the top. So the first 3 shelves at the top will be romance books, next 2 or 3 will be like fantasy books, and then the bottom 2 will kind of be like mystery thrillers, literary fictions, like all the other genres that don't really fit anywhere else. So yeah, that's the little plan of attack. I am going to start doing this, but we do have pizza on the way, so I am going to have a little break very soon. But I think I'm going to get all of my books kind of like put onto the shelves but not organized. Like I'm kind of just going to like stack them where I want them to be, so then I can have a better idea of where like genres are going to be and where authors are going to be and all of that fun stuff. But yeah, that was a very long intro, so let's just get into it. Okay, so starting off with the very top shelf, which I'm going to need a stool to get to, I'm going to dedicate that to like my taller romance books that don't really fit anywhere else, because I do have quite a few like taller romance books that I just don't think will fit in those smaller sections. So that's what I'm going to start with. Also, this is an overview of what the shelves look like. So they're like wrapped around the room and they are covering one half of that window, but it's the only spot I could put them in. So this is what it's looking like now. Of course I'll show an after tomorrow when it's finished. And I have books all down here. I have books all over here, all over my new desk, which I'll show you guys tomorrow as well. And I have books everywhere outside the room as well. I feel like every time I reorganize, it's just like a trust the process. Okay, so keep in mind I haven't put out all of my romance books yet, but I am going to organize these few shelves just to see if I'm putting the right amount of books on each shelf, because I don't want to put too many to the point where they don't fit like in a line. So I'm going to do these ones and see how much space I have left and kind of like suss it out a little bit. Also with my Magnolia Parks and Boys of Tommen series, I literally have multiple copies of each of those series. So the tall copies of them are going to have to be at the top, and then I'm going to try to make like the shorter versions of them sitting underneath the top ones, if that makes any sense. Okay, it's taking up a lot less space than I thought, which is a good thing because it means I can fit more books in. And I'm literally obsessed with how it looks so far. Like I just love how like front facing they are. I just feel like because like all the heights are together, it just looks very aesthetically pleasing. Anyway, I'm going to keep going with dividing the books and putting them onto the shelves, and then I will give you an update later when I'm finished doing that with the romance books. I'm only going to start with the romance.
We won by 1 point. And you didn't want to go.
I'm glad we didn't go.
Why?
because it's already been a hectic day. Okay, I have officially, let's not trip over, I've officially finished the romance shelves, and I'm a little bit scared because I'm just like suspicious about the fact that it worked so perfectly. So now I'm kind of like, what's going to go wrong later on? So I am so happy with how they've turned out. There's a couple of authors that I have split up, such as Colleen Hoover, and that's just because I don't really care about keeping all her books together, because I've only like kept the books that I actually really liked from her when I first got back into reading. So obviously they're not all the same height, so they've kind of been split up, and there's definitely been a couple more authors that have been split up as well. But I feel like there's so much time for me to do like little minor adjustments to the books and like figure out like color themes sort of, because for example I've kept like one whole shelf up there dedicated to dark romance just because they just look the best together, and there's definitely some other shelves that I feel like some of the colors need to be switched around on, but I'm honestly so happy with how it's looking so far. I'll give a quick overview. So this is what it looks like on the top. I just love how they're all lined up so perfectly. Like, it's honestly so aesthetically pleasing. If I find any more books later, obviously there's more space up there for taller books, and then there's some space over here as well. I feel like it's looking really good so far, and I've kept 3 books on display out of my romance books. I do have quite a few like special edition fantasy books, but I'm probably going to show a lot of sprayed edges on some of those books because I honestly just have too many to display like cover outwards. So I'm going to try to work with what I've got the best. Now that all the romance is done, that means I can go onto my fantasy / sci-fi shelves. So I'm probably going to use the next 3 shelves because I do have quite a lot. I'll definitely fill up 2, maybe like 2.5, but we'll see how I go. I'm just going to start with the stacks again to begin with, and then I'll go into actually organizing them. But I'm honestly really happy with how this is turning out so far. I'm also drinking some wine right now, and it's definitely making the experience a lot more enjoyable. Okay, so as you can see, I've put quite a few books on the shelf, but I changed my mind and I am going to start organizing them because I have probably another 3 or 4 piles on the floor of books that I need to fit in, and I just feel like it's going to be a quicker process if I actually organize these ones first, because I have quite a few fantasy books that need to go in like the taller section. This is going so much better than I expected. I literally have so much extra space now, which means I can go book shopping soon, which I'm very excited about. I have just finished putting all of the fantasy books on my shelves now, as you can see in the back, and there's quite a few empty spaces, which I'll show you guys. I kind of like overestimated how many I had because yeah, I have heaps of space left, which is great. Okay, so here is what it's looking like when I go across. I put quite a few on display as well to take up some more space. So I've got a little bit of space there, down here, across here, and then over here. So over here I've just put this like little belladonna trinket thing that I got from Fairy Loot once. Looks cute, haven't read the book, but I thought I'd put it behind there to like fill the gap. And then this is an ARC copy of Powerless, that's why it's on display. And then I've got the Fairy Loot edition of the Crimson Moth on display, Fairy Loot When the Moon Hatched, and this special edition of Heir of Broken Fate. So honestly, I am so happy with how these shelves have turned out. I definitely want to get some more decor to put in there before I show you the like final reveal tomorrow, just to like fill it in a bit more. I'm obsessed so far. Like, I feel like this looks like I have more books now. But anyway, now that we're to the bottom, we've got 2 shelves left. Honestly, I don't know how I'm going to do this yet. The shelf that's normally in the background of my videos is this one on the end, so I'm going to try to make this one the most like aesthetic. So I'm going to put like some literary fictions and stuff along there, and maybe I'll keep like my mystery thrillers down here so they're like out of the way. Because there's a couple of genres now to fit into those last 2 shelves, I feel like it's going to be a bit all over the place, but I still have some high expectations and I feel like it'll turn out really nicely. I just need to sort of like go with the flow. Hey guys, I have officially finished putting all the books back on my bookshelves. To say I'm obsessed is literally an understatement. I cannot wait until tomorrow until I can see it all in like natural lighting, because I feel like that's when it'll look the best. That's all I'm going to record for tonight. I'm going to try to find some like decor pieces around the house to fill in some of the gaps, because I've actually ended up with 2 completely empty shelves down there, which is actually great because it means I can buy more books, as I said before, but it just looks a little bit ugly right now because of it being empty. So I'm going to try to fill that in a little bit. I just feel like I just want to sit here and stare at my bookshelves, and I have not felt like that like in forever. It is now Sunday morning and we can finally look at my shelves in the actual natural lighting, and I already feel like they just look 100 times better, because sometimes like the overhead lights just make them look a little bit weird, but now I'm officially obsessed. I feel like it looks like a library, and I just feel like it looks like I have so many more books. I did count yesterday and I apparently have over 600 books, and last time I did this I had 450, and that was only 4 months ago. So I don't know where all these books have come from, to be honest, but I'm not complaining. I have more selection of what I can read. But because it's finished, I'm going to give you a quick little overview, and then you'll have to wait until an actual in-depth bookshelf tour when I actually explain everything. So this is an overview of what everything looks like. The lighting today also isn't very good to begin with, which is annoying, but it looks so much better during the day. I'm going to go a little bit closer so you can get like a better look of everything. I am literally obsessed. I feel like there's still a couple of things that I might switch around a little bit, like a couple of books that I just feel like color wise don't really match, but I'm obsessed right now. So that means that this video is officially finished, and we have finished my bookshelf reorganization video. This one isn't as long as my other videos, but I feel like it doesn't need to be, because I feel like I got to the point a lot quicker in this one, and I also did it a lot quicker in this one. I remember last time I did this, I did like a frame by frame TikTok of all the books like appearing on the shelves, and that's why it took me so long. So this time was like a walk in the park, to be honest, because it only took me 2 hours, but I love it so much. Please let me know what you think, and let me know if there's anything that I should change. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you stay and subscribe, and I will see you in my next one.